With 39 million inhabitants, more than any other urban region, this is the most prosperous city in the history of the planet. With a GDP of $2 trillion, it is the safest large metropolis on the Earth and has a larger economy than all but 8 nations. Tokyo is the archetypal megacity on Earth. Our narrative starts 561 years ago when a samurai warrior erected a castle beside Edo's fishing hamlet. Farmers from all over the world were drawn to it because of its fertile soil, which was perfect for cultivating rice. Edo's position as the most significant location in Japan was cemented in 1600 when the renowned general Tokugawa Ieyasu triumphed in the Battle of Sekigahara, a crucial historical event. Sadly, the burgeoning city's structures were composed of paper and wood, which is a hazardous mix when exposed to the summer's scorching winds. There is a legend that a priest burned an unlucky kimono on a particularly dry afternoon in 1657. 70% of the city was consumed by the fire that erupted, catching fire in his temple. 100,000 lives were lost. In spite of the catastrophe, Edo had millions of residents by the middle of the 1800s. That was the end of the over 700-year-old military shogunate system. Finally, Edo was designated as the formal capital of Japan by a new administration headed by a youthful emperor, who also renamed Tokyo and turned the castle into a royal palace. Everyone raised a glass with rounds of house sake to commemorate his arrival. During this period, Japan began to welcome more international trade and influence, and the capital city of Tokyo was at the forefront of the country's rapid industrialization. However, the natural environment was stressed due to the rapid development. Deforestation, air pollution, and the degradation of Tokyo's once pristine rivers are all consequences of this urbanization. We needed to be extra careful now. In Japan's expansive rice paddy fields, the concept of Satoyama came to be, advocating for a harmonious cohabitation with nature. Today, parks occupying 20% of the land in the Tokyo metropolitan region are the product of a century of preservation efforts. Although pollution is no longer a significant concern, there is one natural phenomenon that cannot be ignored: seismic events. The geologically precarious eastern parts of Tokyo were leveled by an 8.0 magnitude earthquake in 1923. Some people took advantage of the mayhem to attack political opponents and minority groups, such as Koreans, as firestorms swept through entire neighborhoods. 140,000 had died by the time the smoke had cleared. The second attack on Tokyo occurred exactly 22 years later, in 1944, this time by Allied air forces. They launched a relentless 9-month assault that ended with Japan's capitulation after the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, effectively ending World War II. More than 1,600 tons of bombs were dumped on eastern Tokyo by 279 Boeing B-29 Super Fortress heavy bombers on the worst night of the onslaught. It is widely considered the most devastating bombing raid in human history, with over 100,000 casualties and over 1 million people forced to flee their homes. Even though it took generations, Tokyo is finally thriving today after over 7 decades of peace. Expanding its dense metropolitan area to reach Yokohama, the second largest city in Japan, now covers an astounding 32 kilometers in a straight line. While most people use automobiles and highways to get about, Tokyo's widespread train lines are what really make the city stand out among megacities. After World War II, Japan's government prudently spent substantial amounts on train projects to link downtown Tokyo with neighboring towns and cities, since the country lacked the oil reserves needed for an automobile-focused transportation system. Japan unveiled the Tokaido Shinkansen, the first modern high-speed rail line in the world, in October 1964, with trains reaching speeds of 256 kilometers per hour, coinciding with Tokyo's hosting of the Summer Olympics. The route ran from Tokyo to Osaka. Nearly 40 million people use Tokyo's subway system every day, making it the busiest system in the world. That is in stark contrast to the car-centric system in the United States, where parking lots and roadways can consume as much as 60% of a city's total land area. Without a doubt, Tokyo has creative solutions for stowing its bikes and fleet of cars. The 11 billion mega project has also reduced congestion. A third of the Tokyo Bay Aqualine is a bridge, and 2/3 is a tunnel. What was once a 90-minute trip through downtown and around the bay shore is now a 15-minute sprint through it. Because it must endure the constant threat of earthquakes, the project took 30 years to plan and finish. It's for the same reason why Tokyo skyscrapers are typically shorter and cost an additional 50% to build compared to those in other commercial centers. Inflation and the supply of new homes both contribute to the problem of urban sprawl. When viewed from above, Tokyo appears to be a labyrinth. Realistically, though, many people's lives revolve around their neighborhoods. Countless of the best sushi restaurants in the world, as well as other shops and companies selling daily necessities, are typically within a short stroll. Sumptuous seafood is the lifeblood of Japan. Tsukiji, the biggest fish market in the world, is located along Tokyo's port. There are around 50,000 customers that come here daily to purchase and sell 400 different kinds of seafood. The chefs from the 227 restaurants in Tokyo that have earned a Michelin star are among the buyers, making the city the leader in this esteemed accolade. During his visit to Tokyo, President Obama even had sushi made by the legendary Jiro. Another way Japan is at the forefront of the automation revolution is that he once played football with a robot that looked like a human. Tokyo, along with New York and London, is regarded as one of the 3 global economic command centers. It is also home to the most non-state-owned Fortune 500 firms of any city in the world. Tokyo is a technological superpower. Tokyo is the most technologically advanced big metropolis because of all these things. On top of that, it was preparing to perform for an international audience. It played host to the 2020 Summer Olympics. Because of this, the Metropolitan Administration of Tokyo was using its enormous yearly budget, which is more than Saudi Arabia's whole economy, to accelerate its development. One program that has either been completed or is being planned to be showcased to the world is the installation of functional robots throughout the city to aid people of various ages, nationalities, and disabilities. Nearby robots might provide language translation, instructions, or transit assistance to the 920,000 projected daily visitors during the Olympics. The city of Tokyo and its inhabitants could reap benefits from hosting the Olympics much beyond the final ceremony, and robots are just one example. A graying of Tokyo's society on an unprecedented scale is taking place, thanks to an aging population that was expected to reach its peak in 2020 before beginning to fall. Also, the government is pushing for more significant volunteer work due to a shortage of tax-paying workers and an increase in the number of older people dependent on government pensions who would need care. As some of the world's most kind individuals, Tokyo residents shouldn't have any trouble with this. When it comes to the cleanliness of streets, accessibility to local public transportation, and helpfulness, they consistently come out on top. Despite the chaos that followed the earthquake in March 2011, tourists lauded the orderliness of the Tokyoites. This is an aspect of Gaman, the disciplined commitment to doing one's best for the benefit of all that is part of the Japanese character. Obviously, Tokyo's well-planned and maintained infrastructure is the city's greatest strength. One ambitious project that is about to wrap up is a $350 million plan to increase the number of hydrogen stations from 8 to 35 and launch a hydrogen-powered transportation system by 2020. The plan calls for the deployment of 6,000 fuel cell cars and 100 fuel cell buses. In times of crisis, a system of fuel cell vehicles, which can also serve as portable power plants, could change the game. A whole hospital may be powered for a whole day by just using 2 of these buses. The Tokyo Champs-Élysées project aims to repair and reinforce bridges, tunnels, and roads, use advanced laser scanning technology and carbon fiber to detect problematic infrastructure before it fails and extend its life up to 100 years. Install more solar heat-blocking pavement, which is up to 8 degrees Celsius cooler than asphalt, to help solve Tokyo's heat island problem. Transfer as many power lines underground as possible, widen sidewalks, double the number of dedicated bike lanes, and open outdoor cafes. Other transportation upgrades include the 3-ring expressway, which has cut many trips throughout the region in half, as well as the repair and reinforcement of bridges, tunnels, and roads. Tokyo is actively responding to environmental issues by introducing new policies. Engineers keep a close eye on a complex monitoring system, which they have put in place to control flooding, build underground chambers and tunnels, and implement an urban cap-and-trade system. Additionally, critical highways will be lined with disaster-resistant structures, and the city is in the process of replacing older wooden residences with newer, fire-proof ones. By actively sharing knowledge with visitors and helping other cities, Tokyo hopes to display these innovations during the Olympics. Additionally, Tokyo is at the forefront of land reclamation, having transformed abandoned landfills into sea forest areas that have hosted Olympic activities. Tokyo is an example of other cities across the world dealing with the dual problems of rapid population increase and the effects of climate change because of its innovative strategies, forward-thinking planning, and international exchange of information. Thanks for watching. If you want more videos like this one, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel to never miss out on any of our videos.